welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a quick little video today just about first trimester worries. I had a lot of anxiety and worry around this pregnancy this time compared to my first pregnancy, so I thought I'd just do a quick little video on kind of what I experienced, just so that if anyone else is feeling the same out there, then they know they're not alone and they can see that everything can be okay. I know that sounds really silly, but from the minute I found out I was pregnant this time around, I've just been awful. I don't know why. It's as if there's just been this little seed in my head of like doubt and worry, and it's just grown and grown and grown and taken over like all my thoughts and everything. It's been really strange because with Isla, I think as well, ignorance is bliss the first time round. The first time round you're just so happy to be pregnant, so just immersed in the bubble and really excited and getting carried away with buying stuff and things like that. And I think once you become a parent, you start realizing and possibly hearing a lot more stories of things going wrong with pregnancy or birth or kids in general, because kids, bless their little hearts, it's amazing any of them get made to be perfect and normal because of the process, like 2 little cells and then just growing into a child. It's just madness. So yeah, I think the second time round your eyes are a little bit more open. Sometimes, well, you're obviously a bit older, so I think as you get older you get naturally more worrisome anyway. But basically from the moment I found out I was pregnant this time, I convinced myself I was gonna have a miscarriage. I just had it in my head. I think because with Isla we tried for so long to get pregnant, and then we got pregnant, and I think I felt like I deserved to be pregnant because it had taken quite a while. And then this time round we literally fell pregnant first time, which was shocking. Like, we just weren't expecting that at all. So it was almost as if I felt like I didn't deserve to be pregnant, and I just felt like, oh well, that was too easy, so everything's gonna go wrong. And yeah, for the first, I'd say over 12 weeks actually, it wasn't even the 12 weeks where the worry started to tail off a little bit. I was my own worst enemy. I was constantly on Google. I was looking up all sorts of things. I wasn't reading any of the positive stories. I was just reading anything I could get my hands on about missed miscarriages and things like that, and just reading the stories of poor women who've been through horrible things, like having a that's really hard to say, missed miscarriage at however many weeks, doesn't matter how many weeks it is, it's still really horrible and such a tough thing to go through. So I was reading all these stories and just convincing myself that was what was going to happen to me, just because I didn't truly believe that I could just be pregnant and that would be that. So I stupidly was on Google. I was on all sorts of forums. The one thing that did help was statistics. I'm a bit of a maths geek and I'm all about statistics. So every single day I was on this particular website that basically gave you like your miscarriage risk statistic for each day. And obviously it drops down significantly once you hit 8 weeks and 12 weeks. But I was on there every day, just obsessively looking at it, and just, I think as well because I've had a lot of bleeding this pregnancy, which I didn't have with Isla. With Isla I had a tiny bit of implantation bleeding, but that was it. This time around I've had bleeding for, well, I'm 18 weeks pregnant now. I had bleeding up until about, I think it was about 10 weeks. And at the beginning, even before I found out I was pregnant, I thought I got my period because the bleeding was so heavy. So that's probably been the main thing that's contributed to this worry and anxiety surrounding this pregnancy, because it's really hard. It's really hard to, every single time you get up in the morning, every single time you go to the toilet, every single time you remotely feel anything, just assuming it's loads of blood and you're having a miscarriage. So it's a horrible thing to go through. I know it's a horrible thing to go through. Many other people know it's a horrible thing to go through. So this time my main first trimester worry has been having a miscarriage, obviously. Other things that have worried me, how Isla's gonna react, which is just silly because she's such a little doll and she loves babies, she loves kids, so she'll be just fine. But you do suddenly, you really want to get pregnant, you get pregnant, you're really happy, then you're suddenly like, oh my goodness, but will I have enough love for 2 of them? Will I treat them both equally? Of course you will. But it's just such a weird, it's the hormones as well, but you just have all these thoughts where you're like, how can I love another child the same? It's just crazy. This is my firstborn, she was my first this, my first that. She was the one that made me a mum, and just, I don't know, that was a bit of an unexpected one. I wasn't expecting to feel like that, so it was a bit weird and a bit unnerving, to be honest. So I'm kind of getting over it. I think she'll be fine. I think because she's quite interactive with my little bump and everything, that, I don't know. And this baby's becoming more real because I'm feeling little kicks and things like that. So yeah, that was another worry. Of course, another worry is having to give birth again, because again, ignorance is bliss the first time round. You know it's going to be awful, you know it's going to be hard, but until you actually go through it, I don't think anyone can accurately describe what it's like. And also everybody's experience is different, so me telling everyone my exact experience isn't going to 100% help someone else, because they are never going to have exactly the same experience I had. So you just know the second time around, you know what's going on and you know what's coming. So that's been a big worry. It's a worry I shouldn't be worrying about till like 30 something weeks, but yeah, it does suddenly dawn on you again. You're like, I'm going to have to go through that again. But my saving grace on that is with Phyla, I did it completely naturally. So I'm a bit like, it can't be worse than that unless something goes wrong, which you can't control anyway. So I could take all the drugs this time. It wasn't that I chose not to have the drugs last time, it just never kind of came up. I would have taken them all. So yeah, we won't worry, we won't keep worrying about that one until a bit further down the line. So those are my 3 main first trimester worries for you. Kind of big ones, big, hefty, emotional ones for over time of the day you're watching this. But I might do I am a lot more relaxed now, I'm feeling a bit better. I'm still having the odd like crampy and bits of spotting and that, so I do have a Doppler, a heartbeat Doppler, that's really helped me to kind of relax a little bit. I can just have a little listen to baby's heartbeat and know that everything is okay as I can know it is. So looking forward to our 20-week scan in a couple of weeks as well. Bit of anxiety going around that one as well, because obviously that's the scan that they look at absolutely everything and they can tell whether there's any abnormalities or any issues. So fingers crossed, everything will be okay. So yeah, that was my top 3 pregnancy worries for the first trimester. Hope you've enjoyed, is not the right word for this video. Hope you've found this relatively interesting, and give me a shout with any of your worries, or if you've experienced anything similar. I'm always happy to chat. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Bye!